optimal health, financial freedom, finding your life purpose. It's called The Simple Life. I'm just doing it my way.
Welcome to The Simple Life with Gary Collins, your how-to guide for getting your shit together.
This is life. You gotta work on all these till the day you die. The only thing missing is you getting off your butt and doing it.
So where did the 5 principles of the simple life come from, you may ask? For those who are familiar with my books, know that they're almost in every book. I try and put them in there. I have printouts. If you sign up for the newsletter, you get a printout. I highly recommend you put them on your wall or on your refrigerator. I actually have them in front of me. They're handwritten. I've gone through numerous Post-its with them on there, and I always have them in front of me. Reason why. Having it in front of you and always looking at it reminds you. And that's why I'm doing this episode. And I'll do these between the 3-legged stool and this. Probably do these once a year. It's always good to review. These are the core of what I teach with the simple life. It just is, and it works. I have a lot of proof. Thousands, if not tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people who have used these and changed their lives for the better. So it's the core. And I always tell people, these are the things that if you put them together and do them, it's impossible to fail. It really is. And it took a lot of life lessons on my part, a lot of failures, and then successes to figure out the things that work. So when I was creating my health business, once I left the federal government, it was, trying to figure out how to relay the message and what makes my philosophy a little bit different. What are the principles of it? And, there's a bazillion health people and health programs. I mean, how many times can we redo this? Right. And so I was like, well, what's my philosophy, and where does it differentiate itself from the rest? And that's a big key, right? Because you need to follow the people who are going to make you successful. That episode's coming. Wasn't lying. Already scheduled. It'll be coming next week. But with that, it's one of those, I sat down and I went, okay, what are the things that I feel are the most important? And trust me, you can run on for 20. Problem is, the more you put in there, the more confusing it gets, even to yourself, even though you created it. So for me, it was coming up with 5. I said, let's come up with 5 principles that I feel are the most important. Well, I was working in health, and I still do, obviously, people. Health is the number 1 leg of the 3-legged stool. Go back and review that episode. But with that, I had to come up with these. These were like the preamble to the 3-legged stool, but they fit together. They literally integrate perfectly together. And so as I thought about it, what happened was, I didn't realize at the time, I was coming up with 5 principles for what I taught in health and wellness, not realizing later on in life, and not only my life, these had been effective in my entire life, everything I did. So I was like, down the road, it was interesting how these things integrated themselves into what I teach now naturally. That's a good thing. That's a real good thing, because they just weren't meant for health. They were meant for life and living a life of freedom, the life you want. And it was just, I thought that would be an interesting story for people to understand where these came from. I just didn't pull them out of thin air. I've refined them in the beginning. They were a little rough. I refined them until I felt they were at a place that I was comfortable with. And that's why you'll see them in all the books, the Simple Life series in particular, but everything I do. If you don't have a set of principles, what do you have? And it's just like, if you don't have principles in life, ethics, morals, what are you doing? That's why these are so important. That's why we're going to review them. And if you think you know them, you might want to listen anyway, because I never regurgitate. No Groundhog Day. I didn't review any of the ones I'd ever done before. I have my sheet with them on there, and that's it. Off the top of my head. You guys know I hate Groundhog Day. I hate repeating talking points over and over and over and over again, even though there's some you got to do. You have to, because new people are coming in all the time. But these are great to review. You should always review the things that work, because as humans, we forget. I'm just as guilty of it. I forget. And for me doing this, I have to review them a lot, and it helps me keep me on track, because that's the thing. You don't know you're off track until you're way off track. Usually that's when you go, wait, what was I doing? And I've gone to points in my life and I'll go, wait, how did that habit get lost in the shuffle? It's like eating a poor diet. You don't, and we've done this. People who are healthy, we do it too. Who eat healthy, there will be times I slide off here and there. Next thing you know, you go, I've eaten 3 burritos from the burrito place this week. I don't feel so good. Nothing against burritos and burrito places, but you start to realize, you go, oh, and if you continue to do that, next thing you know, it's 5 burritos a week. Next thing you know, you're eating a couple donuts. Next thing you know, you're pounding a couple of Red Bulls. You know what I mean? It just continues on and on. You slowly, just like good habits, you integrate them. Bad habits sneak their way in. And it's the little steps towards positive change are effective, but also little steps to negative change are just as effective at getting you off track. Hope that makes sense. So let's jump in. Let's talk about these. And also, for those of you, if you have questions about these and you want to shoot me some questions and want me to expand on any one of the principles or anything I contain in here, shoot me an email. I'll answer them. We have Ask Gary Anything now. So, and I really enjoy doing those. I really enjoy the questions. So keep sending them. I'll answer them. I'll answer all the questions you send. I may not get to all of them before I die, but I'll try and get to all of them. And remember, there's never stupid questions, just stupid people. Kidding. All right, well, maybe not. So let's jump in the first one. Knowledge is power. And I want to jump back a little bit. You may have heard these before. Hey, I've always said this. There's freaking almost 8 billion people on this planet. You're not going to create something that no one's ever created for the most part, but you're putting your spin on it. And that's what I'm doing here. This is my spin on the things I've learned and used and now teach. So knowledge is power. It gets thrown around a lot. And what do I mean by that? Dumb people do dumb things. Dumb people never better themselves. They stop learning. You never stop learning. I've said this numerous times. Once you stop learning, you're dead. Whether figuratively, or just, it's one of those, the mind has to continue to work. If you're not using your mind consistently, it's use it or lose it. You have to continue to learn. Well, you can't gain knowledge without learning. And I've always said it's a 2-step prompt. Knowledge goes along with experience. So what does that mean? You can't just sit there and search the internet, Google. There's a bunch of Google geniuses, and don't be one of them. They're the most annoying asinine people known to man, because Google's algorithms are all jacked up. So they're going to use DuckDuckGo. That's a good piece of advice. I've been using DuckDuckGo for a couple of years now. And I'm going to tell you, I don't use Yahoo or Google anymore at all, unless absolutely necessary. So you got to get the information from the right place. But don't be that person. You learn by experiencing things, by doing things. So you have to learn the basics, then you put it into action. Remember my theory in life of getting things done: create the plan, organize the plan, execute the plan. Well, you got to have knowledge to do that. If you don't know what the hell you're doing, you don't know what the hell you're doing, and you need to figure it out. Doesn't mean just go out willy-nilly and just destroy everything in your path because you don't know what the hell you're doing. That's a good recipe for failure in life. And we see it every day. People just fly by the seat of their pants, and next thing they know, their ass is on fire. So don't be that person. Gain knowledge, read, study, ask, follow the truth prophets, not the false prophets. Follow the people who know what the hell they're doing, not just tell you what to do and they don't know how to do it. Don't follow those people. Follow the people with knowledge and experience. Pretty basic. You have to continue to learn all the time. The reason we learn and the reason we retain information is for survival. If we have a lot of people on this planet right now who have had to go back and survive as historically humans have, just like all organisms, we would be dead. That's how dumb we are. That's how little knowledge we have of how the world actually works, how this planet works, how we integrate with the planet, with nature. That's what I mean. It's a survival mechanism. You have to continue to learn to adapt to your environment. To be successful is what it would be termed today. Back then, it would have been survival. Propagating the tribe, having children, raising children, not having them all get killed because they're dumb, because they don't know anything. That's the thing about knowledge, and knowledge will separate you from others. The more knowledge you have, the better life should be. Why wouldn't you want more knowledge? No one should want to be a dummy, but yet it seems we think being a dummy is cool today. It's not. Being stupid is being stupid. Don't be stupid.